श्री महाभारत कथा। श्री महाभारत कथा। महाभारत कथा। कथा है पुरुषार्थ की, ये स्वार्थ की, परमार्थ की, सारथी जिसके बने श्री कृष्ण भारत पाथ की। शब्द दिग्घोषित हुआ जब सत्य सार्थक सर्वथा। शब्द दिग्घोषित हुआ। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत, अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य, तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्, परित्राणाय साधूनां, विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां, धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे।
Kasyapa then propitiated, for the sake of his son, the Valakilyas of exceeding good fortune, and whose sins had been destroyed by ascetic penances. Those ascetics thus addressed by the illustrious Kasyapa abandoned that bow and went to the sacred mountain of Himavat for purposes of ascetic penances. The son of Vinata, with voice obstructed by the bow in his beaks, asked his father Kasyapa, saying, "O illustrious one, where shall I throw this arm of the tree?" Kasyapa spoke of a mountain without human beings, with caves and dales always covered with snow and incapable of approach by ordinary creatures even in thought. And the great bird bearing that branch, that elephant and that tortoise, proceeded with great speed towards that mountain. The great arm of the tree with which that bird of huge body flew away could not be girt round with a cord made of 100 cow hides. Garuda, the lord of birds, then flew away for hundreds of thousands of yojanas within the shortest time, and going according to the directions of his father to that mountain, almost in a moment, that ranger of the skies let fall the gigantic bough, and it fell with a great noise. And that prince of mountains shook, struck with the storm raised by Garuda's wings. And that prince of mountains shook, struck with the storm raised by Garuda's wings. And the trees thereon dropped showers of flowers, and the peaks decked with gems and gold adorning that great mountain itself were loosened and held down on all sides. And those trees, bright as gold, falling down upon the ground, and dyed with mountain metals, shone as if they were bathed in the rays of the sun. Then that best of birds, Garuda, perching on the summit of that mountain, ate both the elephant and the tortoise, rose on his wings with great speed from the top of the mountain, and various omens began to appear among the gods foreboding fear. Indra's favorite thunderbolt blazed up in a fright. Meteors with flames and smoke loosened from the welkin, shot down during the day. And the sky, though cloudless, roared tremendously. And even he who was the god of gods shed showers of blood. And the flowery garlands on the necks of the gods faded, and their prowess suffered diminution. And the dust raised by the winds darkened the splendor of the very coronets of the gods. And he of 1,000 sacrifices, Indra, with the other gods, perplexed with fear at the sight of those dark forebodings, spoke unto Vrihaspati thus: "Why, O worshipful one, have these natural disturbances suddenly arisen? No foe do I behold who would oppress us in war. Indi, Tadioa, Tamsil, how, Ali, Dolu, is sub." Vrihaspati answered, "O chief of the gods, O thou of 1,000 sacrifices, it is from thy fault and carelessness, and owing also to the ascetic penance of the high-souled great Rishis, the Valakilyas, that the son of Kasyapa and Vinata, a ranger of the skies endued with great strength and possessing the capacity of assuming at will any form, is approaching to take away the Soma. Indra, having heard these words, then spoke unto those that guarded the Amrita, saying, A bird endued with great strength and energy has set his heart on taking away the Amrita. And the gods hearing of it were amazed, and took precautions. And they stood surrounding the Amrita, and Indra also of great prowess, the wielder of the thunder, stood with them. And the mighty deities wielded various sharp-edged weapons of terrible shapes, countless in number, emitting, even all of them, sparks of fire with smoke, and decked with celestial ornaments and resplendent with those bright arms. The gods waited there, their fears allayed, and in consequence of the gods standing there, that would be battlefield, owing to hundreds of thousands of maces furnished with iron spikes, shone like another firmament illumined by the rays of the sun. Saunaka said, O son of Suta, what was Indra's fault? What his act of carelessness? How was Garuda born in consequence of the ascetic penances of the Valakilyas? Why also Kasyapa, a Brahmin, had the king of birds for a son? Why, too, was he invincible of all creatures and unslayable of all? Once upon a time, when the Lord of Creation, Kasyapa, was engaged in a sacrifice from desire of offspring, the Rishis, the gods, and the Gandharvas all gave him help, and Indra was appointed by Kasyapa to bring the sacrificial fuel. And with him, those ascetics, the Valakilyas, and all the other deities. And the Lord Indra, taking up according to his own strength a weight that was mountain-like, brought it, without any fatigue. And he saw on the way some Rishis, of bodies of the measure of the thumb, all together carrying one single stalk of a palasa, butea frondosa, leaf. And those Rishis were, from want of food, very lean and almost merged in their own bodies. And those Rishis, being thus insulted, were filled with rage and sorrow. And they made preparations for a great sacrifice at which Indra was terrified. Hear, O Saunaka, of the wish for accomplishment of which those vow-observing wise and excellent ascetics poured clarified butter of the sacrificial fire with loudly uttered mantras. And the Lord of the Celestials of 100 sacrifices, having come to know of this, became very much alarmed and sought the protection of the vow-observing Kasyapa. And the Prajapati Kasyapa, hearing everything from Indra, went to the Valakilyas and asked them if their sacrifice had been successful. By the word of Brahman, this one, Indra, hath been made the lord of the 3 worlds. Ye ascetics, ye also are striving to create another Indra. Ye excellent ones, it behoveth you not to falsify the word of Brahman. And the Prajapati Kasyapa, hearing everything from Indra, went to the Valakilyas and asked them if their sacrifice had been successful. And those truth-speaking Rishis replied to him, saying, Let it be as thou sayest. Let not also this purpose, for accomplishing, which ye are striving, be rendered futile. Meanwhile, moved by the desire of offspring, the good daughter of Daksha, the vow-observing, amiable, and fortunate Vinata, her ascetic penances over, having purified herself with a bath in that season when connubial companionship might prove fruitful, approached her lord. And Kasyapa spake unto her, Respected one, the sacrifice commenced by me hath borne fruit. What hath been desired by thee shall come to pass. 2 heroic sons shall be born unto thee, who shall be the lords of the 3 worlds. And the illustrious Kasyapa spake unto her again, Bear thou these auspicious seeds with great care. These 2 will be the lords of all winged creatures. These heroic rangers of the skies will be respected in all the worlds, and capable of assuming any form at will. Nidhisti. And the Prajapati, gratified with all that took place, then addressed Indra 100 sacrifices, saying, Thou shalt have 2 brothers of great energy and prowess, who shall be to thee even as the helpmates. From them no injury shall result unto thee. Nay, Noah, Devikanda, me, di, pandi, nope. And she gave birth to 2 sons, Aruna and Garuda. Indra, thus addressed, went to heaven, his fears dispelled. And the gods, beholding him of excessive strength, began to quake with fear, and strike one another with all their weapons.